All right, so welcome to the Golden Hour where we spread light, love, peace, and harmony. I'm C. Mosley. I'm your host today, and I got Cet-Distic with me today. With every great undertaking, you want to start with a prayer. So what I'm going to do right now is just pray and bless what we got going on today. So I'm going to ask that you bow your head. God, we just humbly come for you in front of you today just to thank you for everything you've done for us and just giving us traveling grace and bringing us here safely. And we just want you to put your grace and your touch over everything that we're doing today. Bless our words, our responses, our questions, and help to bring our viewers into this. And we just pray over the world and everything that's going on. And bless that you bring peace and love to everybody. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so I got Cet-Distic with me today.
Yo.
He is an artist, a creative director, a friend, a son, all wrapped up into one. So let's just go right into it. You from Selma, Alabama, just in case somebody doesn't know that. So can you talk a little bit about Selma? Or are you from Selma first?
Yeah, I'm originally from Selma. Selma, Alabama is kind of known and unknown in the same breath. Known for the historic aspect of it as far as Bloody Sunday goes, but other than that, we're just a blip on the map. When the time for the Jubilee comes around every year, we flooded with people from all over the globe, you feel me? Like here, there, and everywhere in between. But after that, it's just a ghost town full of people trying to make it and a handful of people trying to make it and trying to avoid the nonsense and violence and all that. And me being one of them, trying to focus on my creative process.
For sure. For people that might be from New York, that might not know what that is, what's the Jubilee?
It's a yearly celebration about Bloody Sunday, what went on with the voting rights history and all that, with Martin Luther King marching from Selma to Montgomery to establish voting rights for the black people of the city. Well, really of the world, so we can have rights like everybody else.
I know I put you on this.
Oh no, you good. You good, bro. I didn't know I was gonna have to Google.
So I know you come from probably, I'm just guessing, like a typical black household. Can you talk about how it was growing up in Selma? Like, how was your childhood? How would you describe it?
I mean, if you on the outside looking in, you might say it was bad, but I loved it. I didn't have everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed. At a young age, my mom and my dad, they divorced, and that played a part on my psyche, but they're amicable now and they still get along, but had good friends and went to school with some cool people, and we ain't have much, but the basketball tie on the tree, shooting ball and things of that nature, but you had like I said, you had everything you need. You might not have everything the outside world looked at as glamorous and this and that, but when you got your friends, you got everything you need. So I'm happy with my beginnings, you feel me? I feel like coming up from humble beginnings makes you hungrier and makes your passion stronger, as opposed to being, born with a silver spoon and having everything that you would want, because it makes you hungry and then makes you appreciate every small thing that you accomplish and gain over your life. So it's all about perspective.
For sure. Does the cultural significance resonate with the residents that live in Selma? Do the people in Selma really understand what happened in Selma, and do they appreciate that and apply to their everyday life?
Some do, some don't. That's just like, anywhere. You got people that are really focused and in tune on what's going on, and some are just oblivious to it. So it just really depends on who you ask. Like my dad, for example, he's not a fan of rap music, period. That's not his, and that's, perfectly fine. But I did a song years ago called Song for the Real, and the whole concept of the song was I wrote a song for not all, because I couldn't name all of them, but the whole concept of the song was I'm gonna write a song for the black people who gotten killed, famous black people like Freddie Gray, for example, Martin Luther King. And when my dad heard about that song and heard the idea of it, he was willing to do the intro to the video. It's on YouTube, anybody want to look it up, Cet-Distic Song for the Real. And the song comes on with me, my dad, and my sister sitting on the porch at his house, and he's giving the speech that he's been giving me since a kid about why he's not a fan of the Jubilee anymore like he was as a kid. As a kid, I thought my dad was being mean. He used to give me money every year to go to the Jubilee and whatnot. And one year he just decided, I'm not giving you any money to go to the Jubilee anymore. And I thought he was just being mean and a bully, but I realized that the Jubilee became more of a thing to make money and profit off, as opposed to talking about the history of Bloody Sunday. And so growing up, I realized why it bothered him. He's like, man, they're making a mockery of it. Now it's just music and dancing, but they don't know the history. They called it Bloody Sunday because blood was running like water. And many of his brothers and sisters got arrested that day. He said the only reason he didn't get arrested was because he ran from the police. So it touches him different, but I wasn't there at the time, but him dropping that knowledge on me is the reason why growing up I respected it. As a kid, I'm just like, you ain't giving me no money to go up here, all my friends going. But growing up, I understood what it means to him, and that, you know, I guess that's part of what makes me who I am. So if you ask my daddy about it, he'll drop you plenty game of it. Now you ask some rando, it might not mean nothing to him. So it just all depends on who you ask.
For sure. It definitely touched me because I looked it up, and then I just started looking up some of the videos and just what happened. It's hard for me to I'll go on a what they call a rabbit hole.
Go down the rabbit hole, bro. You'll get lost in that. You'll get lost in that stuff. And if you got any type of heart or compassion, it'll touch you, bro. Because these are real people. These are real parents, real brothers, real sisters. Yeah. You know, so that's why it's always good to just drop game and drop knowledge on people. Because like even growing up as a kid, of course I ran and hung with friends my age, but I used to always find that time to hang out with my older uncles or my dad who, you know, might have been playing dominoes or checkers and just soak up game, because you ain't gonna learn no more than the people that's your age. You ain't gonna learn no more than what you already know, because we only know what we know. But when you run with the old heads and listen to them, you gonna, you know, soak up game and get your knowledge, and that's how you pass it on to the next, so forth and so on.
For sure. Do Selma city schools teach Black history harder than other cities, or is it pretty much they just skim over it like any normal school?
I guess that you would have to, it would depend on who you would ask. I would say from my own personal experience, I would say the same, because I mean, we dial it up a little bit more, I guess, because of the history with the Jubilee situation. But I would say if you come to Selma and real deal get in touch with some people that like know the city and do like those tours and things of that nature, you'll learn stuff you didn't know. And I'm from the city, so it's good to go to some people who can really give you like off the book information, as opposed to this is just okay, you know Martin Luther King. You know the big famous stories, but if you talk to like older people, or like I said, people that give those tours, they can give you information that you didn't know. Like even with the beginning of the Song for the Real video with my dad said he went to Brown Chapel and he heard Martin Luther King was the it person at the time, of course. My dad, it was so packed in there, my dad had climbed up, and this, you wouldn't know this I wouldn't know this unless my dad had told me this information, because it's not in a textbook that I know of. He said they were remodeling Brown Chapel at the time when my dad was there, when Martin Luther King was there giving one of his speeches about, man, we finna march, and if you can't stand to be beaten or whooped, don't come, because it's gonna happen. But my dad climbed up on scaffolding on the outside of the building because they were remodeling to look through the window to watch Martin Luther King speak. And just him telling me that's a powerful thing. So I think you gotta take it beyond the textbook sometimes and talk to real people who've experienced. Just sit down, and if it's just over coffee or bring them a sandwich, and just, man, you'll learn so much if you really just take time to open your ears to people.
Can I do that with your dad?
Yeah. Oh man, he'll eat that up. He'll talk your ear off. You got enough batteries in your camera for that? He'll talk your ear off, but I'll tell you. Shouts out to my dad. Whatever he see that, he might knock my head off when I say that, but it's all love, Pop. No, he'll eat that up.
I definitely do it.
For sure.
Let's switch gears a little bit. So, when were you introduced to creating music for the first time?
Creating it as far as recording an actual song would be, don't make me lie and tell you the year, but I know it was kids. It was me, and it was in this rap group called 20-Foot Trail Mob. It was me, Chris Cooper, his rap name's Kingpin, long live Kingpin, may he rest in peace. And Andre Cooper, his rap name is Potbelly. He's currently locked up right now, free Potbelly till it's backwards. But we were at the age where the skating rink was the place to be as kids. And at this time, I'm a big music fan. I'm like, I got a book like this full of physical CDs. And we go to the skating rink, and whoever the DJ was at the time, I don't remember. But he was basically playing maybe like the same 5 songs over and over. And one of my, I can't remember if it was Chris or Potbelly, but one of them came to me and said, man, you ought to go to your car and get your CDs out of there and give them some, and play some of the, other people's music, like famous people, of course, but. And so they talked me into doing it. So I was like, bro, play number 17 off this CD and play number 5 off this and play number. And we were so hyped from the dude actually doing it, we went back to the neighborhood, went back to 20 Foot, and just started freestyling, and that was the official formation of 20 Foot Trio Mob. But that was like, at that point, we was getting ready to like record official songs at that point. But before then, I was like writing poems and rhymes to myself long before that even happened.
Gotcha. So at what point, you know, I'm imagining you continue doing that, you stuck with it. So at what point did you say, or someone else say, oh man, I got a gift, or I might be able to do something with this?
With me, it kind of took a while. Like I got that real soon from Chris and Potbelly, because they were some of the first people that I actually opened up to. Because another thing that music does for me, like you wouldn't know it by talking to me once I get comfortable with you, but man, I'm super shy, socially awkward. So like writing rhymes and poetry was really like a way for me to vent and open up and be the me who I knew was inside, but might not be able to talk to the cute girl or hold a conversation with the cool group. So just writing rhymes to myself was something I did to, like, come up out of my shell. And I took homeroom class with one of my partners named Bucci. And one day I was in homeroom and I was writing some rhymes. And he was like, bro, what you got over there? I see every morning you come in and you be jotting on some paper. And I was like, bro, I just got some rhymes and some poems. And he was like, bro, I do the same thing. And so that was like one of my first, this is my home. Oh, we cool now. Oh, you do the same thing too. And open up, now I'm talking, now I'm chatting. Like music opens up so many different avenues. So it was a young age when all that stuff popped off. And then at some point with me, Potbelly and Kingpin doing our first official song, it was so long ago, it was on cassette tape for you young people. You ain't gonna know nothing about that. Everything digital now, but man, we recorded songs on cassette tape. And way back when on 20 Foot, I met, he was called Lil Q then, but it was DJ Deadly before DJ Deadly. Met him and found out through another friend, oh, he make beats. Oh, you do, man, we do rap. We rap something. And it blossomed from there.
Man, we so in sync. You just answered three of my questions, because it was gonna be, do you remember your first track? And then, what was your most favorite track that you ever created and why?
First track officially may have been a song called Get 'Em Out Your Grill or SELMA. I can't recall which one was first that made it to CD. The first one that was on cassette tape, man, I would have to dive into like the archives and make a few phone calls to some friends like from back in the day, like maybe Sally Boy, I don't know the name of the first song, but bro, we did a song on cassette tape and went around the neighborhood and couldn't even play it to friends because everybody, it was that transitioning period where cassettes were fading out and CDs was the next. Nobody in the hood could even listen to, man, I want to hear you, I can't listen to this. So that was like our transition to getting ready to record on like this. That was, at the time, it was a studio at the foot of the bridge called Cerepo, and we went down there and did some music. So I don't want to misspeak on that, so I might have to get back with you with the name of that first track on cassette, but I'm thinking one of our first official group songs as 20 Foot Trio Mob might have been a song called SELMA or either Get 'Em Out Your Grill, one of the two. And now you asking me about favorite song I've done ever, I ain't no way I'll be able to answer that. It's like all of them my babies for different reasons, you know what I mean? So like sometimes highs and lows, I might make a song that's talking about overcoming depression or some personal battles I had. Like my song Halloween Mask is a personal fave. The song, and we shot a video there, the song Ups and Downs, that's a personal fave. But I also like some of my more crunk songs like Jealous with Kingpin on hook. So I could go on forever about that. Every song has a soft spot in my heart for whatever reason. So that'll be real hard. That could be a whole nother series of me trying to figure out which song I did that I liked the most. Because everyone means something to me for a different reason. It might be just, some songs are dumb because you want a dumb party song. This is just a feel-good song. Some songs are, man, this one I went through a heartbreak, man, and so other people can relate to it. So it just all depends.
Gotcha. Let's talk about your creative process. So, like in the studio, how do you like your work environment? Do you smoke? Do you drink? You like people in there with you? You like to be by yourself? Like how you like to work?
I'm really like it's a smorgasbord, a plethora of answers for that. It just depends on that mode. It's never really a constant with me. Like certain songs, if it's one I'm playing close to the chest, like I think this is gonna be a dope song that'll surprise them because I'm coming different. I might not want nobody there other than myself and the engineer because I don't really want no leaks. Other songs, it might be like, man, I want to get an opinion on this one, so I be like, I might tell Deadly or CJ, you know, those are the engineers that I typically use. I might tell them like, bro, call Roddy Mo, or call such and such, see if he can pull up. I want to get an opinion real quick on this one. Or sometimes, and you know this, sometimes, bro, I did a mean one, bro. I'm gonna shoot, when you get time, check it out. I'm gonna shoot this one to your email before I put it out. And I might send you one 2 months before it comes out just to get your vibe on it, bro. I'm already thinking about a video for this. What you think? Such and such. So it kind of depends. Smoking and drinking, I might partake in a little inebriation from time to time to get in the mode, but it all depends on the song. Sometimes if it's like maybe an R&B song or something more catered to the ladies, I might not typically drink because I can tell the changes in my voice. But if it's more of a crunk song or I'm tough song, I might sip a little something because the raspiness in the voice caters to the tone of the song. So that kind of depends. The smoking. Yeah.
Is it any mainstream artist that you compare yourself to or look up to?
I wouldn't say compare necessarily because I purposely try not to do that because I feel like if you focus and try to compare yourself too much to anybody that does your craft, you'll only laser focus on their style or what they're doing, and you'll lose a little bit of your own creative self. Because sometimes I will have the most random song pop in my head that has nothing to do with what's popping in mainstream. But look up to, man, it's a lot of artists I look up to. Growing up, one of my favorite artists was BG because I felt like he was so raw and street and hood. You could feel that he actually went through the stuff he rapped about. I like Pastor Troy. I like Jadakiss. I like Rick Ross because Rick Ross songs sound like velvet. He makes you feel like I can get that luxury. He makes you feel like, man, I came from nothing and look where I'm at. So it's a melting pot. I like minus the shenanigans, strictly rapping, The Game. I like Devin the Dude. I feel like he's one of the most slept on artists because he'll make an album about regular everyday life stuff. Like, man, this girl cross town wanna holler at me, but I ain't got no gas in my car. How I'm gonna get over there? And who ain't, like Devin the Dude makes relatable music. I like Andre 3000. So it's a lot of people. I like Big Gee from Boys in the Hood because he's raw, he's street. So it's like a melting pot. And I feel like the people I like is really like a gumbo pot that describes my style to a T. And it's really like, I want to be considered as an artist and not necessarily a rapper. So I want to be like, I'm just saying if another artist does a song and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get a feature on this. Well, who I want on this? This song is talking about this, and this song is talking. Cet-Distic. I want to be that name you can mention no matter what the topic of the song is. You will know, oh man, when you get him on it, he gonna snap. He gonna bring it. It ain't just no, oh, he can only rap about cars, or he can only rap about girls, or he can only, like, just period. He's creative. So, but I've heard a lot of people say I remind them of Ludacris, and I take that as a super compliment because he's super creative and he'll come so out of the box, you know. So I've heard that quite a bit. I've heard. I think that's like girls when they have like a rose-colored glass. I heard, oh, you sound like Kevin Gates, but that'll be like when I do like more naughty songs or freaky music. So I try not to personally say I sound like this person, but you know, you're gonna hear it from other people because you don't hear yourself, you know, the way an outside ear hears yourself. But I look up to like a lot of artists as far as like already made it. Right. Dirty Boy, oh man, Dirty Boys, come on. Like, don't even get me started. Them dudes so cold. You put in haters or lovers or haters right now, and I will rap the whole album from top to bottom. So shout out to Dirty Boy, they major motivation in the city. Alabama artists, by the way. But yeah, a lot of different people that's for us mainstream that made it that I look up to.
For sure. Who's the greatest artist of all time?
I would probably say if I had to pick one.
Can't do yourself though. Can't do yourself.
Yo, you know I'm being funny anyway. I wasn't gonna say my name. I would probably say to me, it'll be Tupac or Scarface for me. One of those two. It's like Pac would make music like I have a former coworker named Miss Betty, and she's an older woman, older than me. One day at work, we got to talking about music, and she was like, "Oh, I like." I was like, "Who you?" I was like, "Miss Betty, you don't like rap music for real, do you?" She was like, "No, it's not really my cup of tea, but I like Tupac." And so I'm trying to be funny now. Now I'm being smart. You like Tupac? You don't like Tupac. You don't know about no Tupac. What Tupac song? I think I'm gonna trip her up. What Tupac song you like? And she said, "Keep Your Head Up." And that's a song anybody can listen to. And why I would say the next one on my list, if not the first one, will be Scarface, because I feel like he's one of the greatest storytellers ever. If you listen to Scarface in some headphones with your eyes closed, you where he at in the song. He'll transcend you somewhere. And shout out to my cousin Boo, because at the age I'm growing up and started getting into music, like Cash Money was the hot thing as far as my age, is what everybody my age listening to. That's why, like how BG became one of my favorite artists. But my older cousin, you know, as a kid, you want to be like your older cousin. He shooting ball, I want to shoot ball. He know how to draw. That's when I started drawing. But at the time he grew up, and one of his favorite artists was Scarface. He's like, "Man, cuz, what you know about this? You don't know nothing about Scarface?" "Well, my cousin listen to Scarface. I want to be like cuz. I'm finna listen to Scarface." And that's how I fell in love with Scarface. And I feel like that's why music, like real good music, ain't gonna never die, because the generations keep feeding. The generation get feeding. You know, like, it's children now growing up now that know when they hear that, "When I get that feeling sexual," like that song will never get old. Because like it just transcends every generation. It'll be in a commercial or Michael Jackson song or a certain song. That's why like good music ain't gonna never go away. So I would say either Pac or Scarface for me personally. Maybe Nas too. I'll put Nas up there too.
That's my favorite artist, bro.
Yeah, you got pretty good taste.
Appreciate it, bro. So the state of real hip hop, is hip hop dead?
No, it ain't dead, but it ain't running a quarter mile either. But I think it's more so, and this ain't no knock to no younger generation. Oh, you hate, but it's just like we live in a microwave generation now, where if it's not quick, attention spans are short. But if you take the time and delve into real music, it's still there. It still exists. And then, like I think another big factor in it too is because like when physical CDs kind of faded out, I think that changed the game too. Because it was not like one of the best feelings in the world for me personally was you knew an album was finna come out Tuesday, or some days they put it on Saturday. But an album finna drop, man. I gotta go to the store, like tearing a CD out of the plastic, bro, and popping it open and pulling the book out, reading the liner notes while you listen. That was an experience, but like you lost that now with everything just digital, and you don't appreciate it more. And now with it being digital, I think artists don't necessarily try to make full albums the way they would before. Like at first with a full book, you going from an intro to, okay, I'm finna get them and give them a little taste of who I am. And then I'm finna hit you with my hot single that you bought the album for. But then now I'm finna give you some personal songs. Then now I'm finna give you, this for the ladies. Now I'm finna give you, man, I lost my partner. Now I'm finna give you my thing. So it was a full process. But now it's just hot song 2 minutes, hot song 2 minutes, because it's just quick. And so the money is there, but I think a lot of the passion has been lost because of that too.
I can agree with that. So you shifted right into my next topic again. So how did social media affect the industry, and was it in a good or a bad way?
Yes. It's both, because like you or whoever, whatever artist could literally make a song today. I'm from Selma, Alabama, a little blip on the map. I could make a song today and send it to somebody in Korea. That wouldn't be possible without social media. So that's a beautiful thing. But again, it dialed in with the microwave factor. We want the dopamine. We want the quick high. It's different, but it's the same. You can go to a restaurant now and see a couple on a date, and both of them are like this, and they on a date with each other. They ain't even talking to each other.
Yep. Because
we so locked into the next viral, and we don't appreciate stuff the same way we do before social media. Like I said, the getting up, man, BG album come out today, man, I gotta go down here and get in line, because I gotta be the first one to get it, because I gotta tell my homeboy I done learned the song before he learned it. So it was more, it stuck with you more. You appreciated it more. Man, I got on my mama nerves that I'm gonna go and take you to the store to get the album. to open it up out the plastic, to spend that $20 that you saved up all week to get. So you appreciate it a bit more. But now it's another album dropping, then download it, and then you listening, but you're not in the same token. So it's good and bad. But again, you can make a song. You can make a song today that goes viral, and your life could change overnight. That might not that's not as quickly possible before social media became what it was or what it is. So it's pros and cons to both.
For sure. Yeah, y'all put them phones down, man. Cause that's like if you look at a concert nowadays, not you, and this all you see.
You see phones
That's
with the
it.
flashlight,
The
bro.
whole show.
You not in the moment anymore. You can't like you're not engaged. You not like I said, it's the same. It's different, but it's the same thing. Hey, baby, let's go out and get something to eat. And we send it, and both of us we on a date. I'm looking at her. Well, I'm looking at my phone, and she looking at her phone. Or even with households now, it used to be, hey, food ready, come on. And you'll sit at the table, even if you didn't want to. How your day? And now it's food ready, come down, eat. And we just we just in it. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, great things come from social media and being able to network and this and that, so forth and so on. Yeah. But again, we lose a lot of the personal touches. Yeah. So
it's always just balance, because I'm not an old man to where I was like, don't have a phone, but
this is my interview or yours?
Nah.
I'm just playing for you already know. For anybody watching it, like, man, this dude like cool in real life, so But yeah.
So, you get your shot and put your phone up. Just get your little clip on your phone.
And then get in the moment again.
Yep.
Yeah, you can get so, and then I'm talking about myself too. Sometimes I find myself lost in the
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta wake yourself up and snap yourself out of it, man. Mm-hmm. And that's like, shout out to Ben. Like sometimes when we shoot, shout out to Ben Harrison. Sometimes we're shooting a video. You behind the lens trying to get that great shot. I'm in front of the lens trying to make sure I'm in the right place or I'm doing the right facial expression for the shot, depending on what the song is. Ben is over here looking like, oh man, this flower right here would look good if we turn the light. It's just always good to be engaged in the moment, because that stuff we might not be saying because we dialed in on what we're doing, but it's always good to take time and, damn, I ain't catch that, I ain't see that. Low. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you gotta wake yourself up and disengage to engage in real life too. For sure. You can't see this, it's more like that old saying, you can't see the forest for the trees.
For sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What would you say is your biggest challenge so far with being an artist, and what keeps you going when you face those challenges? What makes you not want to quit?
One of the biggest challenges is just getting people to give you them 2 minutes or them 3 minutes to really put your ear on the song, and not only if you give me those 2 minutes or 3 minutes or however that song is, if you like the song, that share button ain't don't call. I have people hit me up when I post, hey man, my new song drop, I'm gonna tag the whatever the allowance is for Facebook, 99. People inbox me, bro, this so hard. Why this ain't got more views? I'm like, bro, why you ain't shared? It ain't like a share, $10.99 a share. Send it to your people. And something else I've learned over time, I'll say, for example, if I do a song and it's a person I know that likes music, but they might not know me personally, I might be like, bro, check this out when you get a minute. And he might brush it off like, well, of course he's gonna share his own song. It's his song. Everybody that raps think they rap, because there's a lot of people out there that can't. I'm gonna be quiet, I ain't gonna be on that. But everybody that does music thinks their music is good, and they have the right to. But if you give me your ears and actually listen and enjoy it, share it with somebody else, because a share from a different person other than the artist will go way further than mine ever could. Well, I saw him share it, but you say it's cold, I'm gonna check it out. Because we have whether we know it or admit it or not, we have a built-in bias for whatever reason. Oh, that's just, if you know somebody, people will hate on you if they know you quicker than a stranger. And they be like, oh man, you just a local artist. But every artist, big or small, is a local artist where they're from. Everybody is a local artist until the fans or supporters make them bigger. But everybody is a local artist. Everybody is from somewhere. So always like, bro, I seen you sharing your music, but then my partner put me on it. I had to listen, bro, you cold. Appreciate it. So it's like just organically finding that support system and getting those listeners. And as far as what drives me, I say one of the things is like just organically gaining those listeners. Like I have a homegirl, like we follow each other on Instagram. Shout out to Monica. We were talking about peach crown, had a conversation about peach crown and beverages and stuff of that nature, and got to talking about how if you sip some, you might get in the mood, or whatever the case may be. And I sent her Forbidden Fruit, bro, the video that you shot, by the way, shameless plug. And bro, she been supporting me like she grew up with me, bro. She's like, I just sent Forbidden Fruit to my homegirl in New York, and that's what anybody that's serious about the craft, that's all we want. Just a fair opportunity, bro. Just lend me your ears. If you don't like it, it ain't the end of the world. But I'm super confident I have a song or a topic or something that anybody at any point can relate to. Maybe the one you're listening to now might not be your cup of tea because you might not like a freaky song or you might not like a party song, but I got some deep stuff that can touch you. I got some personal stuff. I feel like I got like a gumbo pot of music. So.
For sure. I can honestly say that, like, I work with a nice amount of artists, and you probably the most versatile that I have worked with, bro. Like, you got a different type of song. Like you said, you got a deep bag, bro.
Appreciate that, bro. I'm gonna slide you another $1 to get you to repeat that later on. I'm joking again, y'all. Why y'all watching it? Appreciate that, bro. Real talk. Like coming from, and then again, not to cut you off, like coming from you, cause I real did. Like that's how we got locked in originally. I met you through my homeboy Roddy Moe. You was shooting a video for him and his partner, and I was like, bro, I do music too, and I don't even know if you remember this or not.
I remember.
And I was like, bro, I do music too. Man, can I get you got a card? And bro, you were in your bag trying to set up your camera. And you just kind of, you weren't being rude, but you were focusing on the video you were shooting at the moment. You just kind of casually hand me your card, and I got it. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, he just don't know. And we linked up. I want to say the first one we did with just me and you was that Kool-Aid, and we've been locked in ever since. As far as the love of the creative process, I've done a couple of videos with different videographers since you, and probably I'll do some here and there with other people. But the rapport we build and the relationship we build, it makes what the finished product that we put out 10 times better, in my personal opinion.
For sure. If you signed a deal, is there a label you feel like fits your skill set better, or are you even interested in signing a deal?
That's a question I haven't thought about quite a bit, and I don't know if there's a label that fits my skill set, because like I said, I don't feel like I'm just a one-trick pony as far as an artist goes. But I would say, as far as like what I've seen him do with like artists as of late, I respect, and from interviews I've seen, I've never met him personally, but I respect what Yo Gotti does as far as what he talks to his artists about business management and things of those nature, and how to write it. Like Glorilla, bro, that girl had, like, she had the hottest year for a female art. Like I bought her actual album. I got it in my phone, like purchased it. Man, she going so hard. I'm gonna click that and spend that little change just out of the respect. And then what I like about her, she's remained herself. She's that hood girl. She's like the round-the-way girl that made it. But I've seen interviews, got it, talk about her and Moneybagg Yo. Well, not only am I trying to get him with the hot song, I'm telling him, bro, you made this little bit right here. Put this over here and invest it. So I think that like the grind aspect and how he's trying to get them to venture off into other stuff as far as like sponsorships and things of that nature, he's a good one. But would I sign? I'm not gonna sit up here and lie like I wouldn't. But it'll have to be the right circumstance, and I would definitely want to be in control as far as my creative process, because I can be kind of out of the box sometimes and do a song that might not be the hot wave riding thing that everybody else doing. I want to keep my creativeness and like, bro, this idea just sparked, and I want to do. Oh no, you can't do that. We got you contractually obligated. You must do.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off, and now that's where you can come in and say, social media has changed the game in a good way, because now you don't have to necessarily, I need a label. I ain't knocking nobody that, sign, kudos to anybody that does. But again, you can drop like Glorilla, like F-R-E, like she blew up, that one song took off, and it wouldn't have been able to take off as quick as it did without social media. So it's always pros and cons to anything.
For sure.
Oh, you said you were gonna have some real questions.
Man, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
We finna switch gears again. So let's talk about gun violence for a second, because that's something that's really hitting home in all of our communities. Birmingham, Selma,
man.
like it's really crazy, bro. So I'm gonna just ask you this, like, do you feel like there's anything that we could be doing actively to try to combat that or improve it, or is it just something that we just gonna have to deal with at the moment? And before you answer, how do you feel the music culture affects gun violence, if it does at all, in your opinion?
Well, that was multi-layered, for real, for real. Yeah, gun violence is a real thing, bro. When I mentioned earlier about my bro Chris Cooper King, like he died from gun violence, bro, and that was like my best friend. I really truly consider him a brother from another mother. So like when we talk about like gun violence is a real thing, like my cousin, Shakira Johnson, AKA Chick, she died from gun violence. Her ex-boyfriend took her life a few days before Christmas, then took his own life. And a matter of fact, you know this for a fact, you met her when we were shooting the video to the song called The Cross. She came and, you know, was behind the scenes because her brother played a key role in the video, playing the cross dude, you know, taking him out of the chair when we had him tied up for that scene.
Yeah, I remember.
And she's gone due to gun violence. So it's so ingrained in the culture in a negative way. I feel like in one aspect we are gonna have to deal with it, but in the other aspect we have to openly engage in dialogue and talk about it and just be real, because it's a difference between talking about something as serious as gun violence in an honest nature and glorifying it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't do street songs that are talking about guns and so forth and so on, but it's typically from a don't try me aspect of it. And then again, in the same token, I have another song that's talking about the fact that my cousin's life was taken due to gun violence. And you think, and I can get emotional thinking about this, but we shot the video to a song for Shakira. And at one point in the video, you got a clip of the license plate that says Chick 95. And on the license plate, stop violence, stop domestic violence. Her life was taken due to a gun. So that's the rawness of it. That's the, I got a gun, I'm tough, I love a gun. That's no, man, my cousin, who I consider a baby sister's life was taken due to this. So you gotta be open and honest about it. Of course, we're living in a culture like, I'm gonna say, for example, when we got to this location, I pulled up behind you, was like, bro, you locked your car? People rob, people steal.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, people are carrying for protection. So you gotta acknowledge that, you know, if you need one and need protection, that's fine. But again, you have to engage in dialogue. A gun would be needed if you got a household. You would want something for protection because, you know, a robber might break in, so forth and so on. But I'm not out here willy-nilly, a gun is the best thing in the world. Like again, you go and listen to my music, there are songs about violence, but I've seen violence, I've witnessed violence, but I'm not glorifying it, but I'm not shying away from the fact that it does exist. So I think it's about honest dialogue, for one.
Honest dialogue, yeah, that's real.
Honest dialogue is what I can say about that. And again, I'm a dial back a night with my bro, Kingpin died. When he was killed, bro, well, he got shot on Good Friday, and I put that in the song like it was on Good Friday, but wasn't a damn thing good about it. He died later. One of my partners now, shout out to Elwick Ruffin, that's my bro. When Kingpin died, bro, it was so much hatred and hurt and pain through the neighborhood of 20 Foot because he was like a living legend through the hood. But it was so much hatred behind the way he died, and I'm not gonna get into the details of that in this interview. Like maybe I'll talk about it off camera because it's some personal stuff. But it was so much hatred, and like when a popular person dies, it's so much anger to where the world wanna blame something. Bro, my aunt's house got shot up behind that when I'm over my mom's house the day I found out he passed, crying. My mama called me, waking me up. I finally fell asleep in the middle of the night. My eyes were stuck together from crying. And she woke me up and told me, he shot in you. My aunt's house got shot up behind that. My uncle's house got burned down. My uncle's other house got shot. So I'm not glorifying it, but I'm speaking honest. And again, I mentioned Elwick Ruffin because I went through depression when he died. I went through depression when Chick died, but he was one of the first people that said, bro, I know why you ain't been coming out as much because of all this foolishness, you don't know who you can trust, and so forth and so on, but my door is never closed to you. And that's part of open dialogue, man. If you got a partner going through something, it's easy to make statuses and quotes and all that, but in real life, check on your people, man. Especially if you know somebody going through something, and again, big ups to Elway, he was like, bro, my door is never locked for you. And that was part of me coming up out of, and I did my first song, it was a song called R.I.P. That was the first song I had did after Chris died in maybe 5 months, 6 months, because I don't want to do no music no more. My best friend gone. And he was one of the first people to tell me, bro, you so cold. I got to make sure I snap on this. I got to make sure I come with some bars because I know you going to snap. And it was like my best friend gone, my encouragement is gone. Why am I doing it? And Elway Ruffin was one of the ones that like pulled me out of it, like, bro, don't give up. Kingpin wants you to keep going, so shout out to him for that. Love you, bro.
For sure. Okay, before I go to that, what do you feel like was the most influential black sitcom of all time?
Come on, dude. What are you? The most influential black sitcom? That is a real question. Maybe the Cosbys. And I'm speaking on the show only, not about, the allegations and all this. But that show was, well, let me say a couple more. I'm gonna say I might pick number one might be the Cosby Show, but another one I might be able to sprinkle in with, like, people might overlook this one and not think about it, was Sanford and Son. But I'm gonna say why I say the Cosbys, because maybe even Good Times, but the Cosby Show was one of the first times we were shown in a good light. Great job, family oriented, the household is together. Like when we have an issue with one of our children, we gonna sit down, mom and dad we gonna reprimand you, we gonna tell you you did wrong, we gonna lift you up when you do good. Obviously they threw the jokes in, for ratings and comedy purpose and all that. But that was one of the best shows as far as showing that, black people, we ain't always got to be the butt of the joke or the junkie or the thief or you know what I mean? So I would say the Cosby Show from that aspect of it. And the reason why I picked Sanford and Son, which might shock some people, is because it showed from another aspect that they didn't have the world, but Sanford, they got each other. They gave each other. And that's almost like me and my dad's relationship. If you watch stuff I post with him, from the outside world looking at it, it's like all we do is joke and play, but that's our bond. And so it showed where you ain't got to necessarily have the yachts and the boats, but if you got that real love, you still straight. So that's why I would put that one up there too. Oh, that was a random question.
I told you I got you, bro. So what's your main goal with rap? Like, what's your end goal that you see with rap? What are you chasing with it?
I want to touch everyone and I would be lying if I said I didn't want to make a gazillion dollars off the stuff. I'm not even saying the cap like that ain't the case. Of course, I want to be able to make enough money to where I can put back into the craft and keep feeding it. But end goal, I don't know if there's necessarily an end goal, because something I've learned to say to people is, people love to say, with me rapping or doing music, well, you just a local rapper. You ain't made it yet. Why you still doing it? But we don't do that. You don't say that to a person. If a person is 100 years old and they paint, you don't say, why you still painting? You ain't sold one of your paints for $10,000 yet. Why you paint? We don't do that to a person who knits. We don't do that to a person who sews. All of it is craft. Like, it's, if I never make a dime off the music has done stuff for me as far as opening up. Music is the reason why I'm talking to you now. Music is the reason why I can talk to that cute girl that's winking to me over there before the shy guy, before I gained my confidence, because I wrote a song macking the girl, saying in this song what I wanted to say to her in real life. So music has done so much for me. And so I'll say to people when they'll be like, oh man, why you still doing it? You ain't blow it up yet. And I'll say this, would you say that to a painter? You know what I mean? And they're like, well, no. Would you say that to a sculptor? well, no, but but it's the same thing. So, end goal, of course, again, it would be to be lucrative and make enough money to where I can easily feed myself and quit the 9 to 5 and just focus on the craft. Because I say this all the time, if my wallet matched my mind, I would have already been took over the world, but that's not the case. So I'm just driven because of that, and I'm just gonna keep going.
Bet. All right, we're gonna speed up a little bit because we getting a little lengthy with this one. So I'm gonna ask these.
No,
What?
that was my answer.
Huh?
We're going fast now. Yes.
All right, let go. So, who is your biggest fan?
What?
Who is your biggest fan?
And I can't name myself?
Nah. Well, I mean, yeah, you can.
Maybe me, but if I couldn't name myself, yeah, man, I might make some folks mad if I put one name on that, bro.
Hey, that's your decision to answer or not answer.
I might not be able to answer it, but shouts out to.
Bet. Is there anything you would tell your younger self now that you are a little older with more wisdom? If you go back 10 years, what game would you drop on yourself? If it could only be one thing you could tell yourself.
Go. Because I'm human. So self-doubt and that would plague anybody, especially a shy dude that dealt with anxiety. And it would be go. It would be don't stop. Keep going. Because it's gaps to where I wasn't doing any music because I let man, ain't nobody listening to this stuff. Why am I doing it? But it doesn't matter. The people who need to hear it are going to hear it. Go. Keep going. Keep pushing.
You got the whole world's attention for 15 seconds. The whole world, everybody's listening to you, tuned in, billions of people. What would you say or do?
Jesus is Lord.
That's real. That's real. So you touched on the topic of depression for a little while, and I just want you to shed a little light or give anybody that might be going through some tips or words of encouragement that kind of helped you along the way. What would you say if somebody was going through something and they needed a little help at the moment? Is there anything you can tell them to help them get them out of that space?
Well, shout out to my mom for not giving up on me on those darker days and keeping me like deeply in faith and praying for me when I couldn't pray for myself. And she taped this Bible verse above my mirror, and it's still there now. And it's in a clip of it is in that Can You Imagine video that me and you shot, which is on YouTube. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. And my mom said, son, you having your bad days, but just repeat that and get it in your subconscious. So I would say, and I don't know who's watching this that might not be deeply religious or whatever the case may be, but if you have faith, like follow it, pursue it, play motivational videos, or talk to your pastor, talk to a friend who's been proven to be a friend that you can vent to without your news being spread around. And key thing, talk, because I've lost more than one person to suicide. And it's people that I didn't know were battling, and I wish they would have vented and talked to me. Talk to somebody. And pray. If you got a strong faith, I would pray without ceasing.
For sure. So, all right, we touched on a lot of topics. So now we're gonna wrap it up with your music and what you got going on. So what can people expect from you in the near future? Like, what are you working on right now? What's the next thing you're gonna be dropping?
Well, I don't know when this interview will officially come out, but I Feed Off the Hate 3 has been officially approved for release on my birthday, February the 18th. So depending on when you're watching this, go get that, because it's officially cleared. That's gonna release. Shout out to my bro, Elway Ruffin. Me and him are currently working on a joint project called Ride to Get Rolled On. We don't have a release date as of yet, but we're real tight on that one. That's going, and I'm working on another, like a LP that's gonna be called, it's a crazy name, it's gonna be called Trill Women Elevate Real Kings, but it's twerk. So it's gonna be some playful music, just some, dance stuff and this and that for the ladies. And I'm also 6 or 7 songs deep into my next project that's coming out after I Feed Off the Hate 3, called Speaking From Experience. So I'm at their neck, bro. When I say I literally was so depressed at one point, I prayed to God to restore my creativity And when I tell you he dumped it on me tenfold, like, so I'm at it, bro. So just be on the lookout. Cet-Distic, look out for it. And go get to the old stuff if you haven't heard it already, because like I say, I cover a lot of bases with my music. You can't pigeonhole me.
For sure. So how can people tap in with you? They want to, follow you.
I'm on all the social medias that I'm on. It's Cet-Distic on everything. It's either CET space DISTIC or it's CET underscore DISTIC. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I don't even like calling it X, but X, and Instagram and YouTube, and all of my music I'm on all major streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Rhapsody, iTunes, YouTube, like Tidal, like the whole smorgasbord. Just look it up and give me an honest listen, and I feel like you'll find something you'll love.
Yeah. Anything else?
Where I can go get a good cheeseburger from?
We're going to talk about that off camera.
My.
For sure. I appreciate you, bro.
Love, bro.